Okay, today's got to be a short day because I got to leave soon, but we're trying to debug this double score for the egg. But on top of that, we've actually got more stuff to worry about because if we check our notes here, we've got, you know, what we need to do is actually pull up our last commit here. If we look in our notes, we have figured out what the scoring is for this stuff, and it's a little different than I initially thought it was. So instead of egg getting double score before it hits the ground, it's actually just 500 points if it's in the air. So we'll need to change that. And then first egg is 250, second egg 750, third egg, this is wrong. Hold on a sec, this is wrong. You know what? This is what I did yesterday instead of streaming on the channel here. But this is wrong. So it goes 250, 500, 750. Okay. And then if you die, it resets the egg counter. So right now, how we have this working, this is jacked up. We have to change this all. Because right now we have this thing called the print score class. And it's called print score because it prints whatever score is in the score mount. But what we do is, we thought it was, yeah, we just got to rehaul this completely. Because what we were doing was assigning the score amount. If we go to our play state, and we see what our score amount is. We're using the field score amount to increment our score, but we're only initializing those values once. In our scores table, where's the first time we do scores table? Right here. Our score amount is getting inserted from this lowest egg score. So this is how I thought we were doing it. Oh my gosh, this is tricky. So yeah, this was like, lowest egg score was 250, so every subsequent score in the table would get a higher egg score, but that's not how the game works. It actually needs to keep track of a handful of different variables. I think the move is to keep our print score objects, but we need to do it just like we populate all of these vultures, eggs, and jockeys for every enemy objects per wave. We need to populate. Yeah. The hard part is, yeah, I put it in a print score class because it's nice to just say, where do we actually render the print score objects? Where are we doing that? Oh, we're doing it. We should just Because the thing is, the print score render is happening... There it is. Score. No, that's just the score. Scores table, that's what it is. Okay, so the scores table has print score objects. So when we call the render function on an index of a scores table, that is really a print score object. And what that does is go to our print score at that index, and it knows the score amount, and then it goes ahead and prints the double score right here, or prints the score, and then prints the double score above it if it is. We have to rehaul that. I think it's okay to keep the score here, but instead of double score, we need to change that to like egg midair bonus for catching the egg. And it's not a score amount. It doesn't double our score. It actually just gives us 500 according to our notes. So we'll have to do that. But then we need to modify the score amount for the corresponding index based on if we've died recently or if we've killed a certain amount of vultures, because those scores change based on which eggs. So the first egg you collect on the first death is 250, second egg. So we need to come up with a couple of variables to keep track of how many eggs we've killed, if it's first, second, third, or fourth plus. And then we need, we've already got a way to check if the egg's in the air. We just need to change the amount to be a hard-coded 500 instead of a score amount. And then you get a certain amount of points that don't print up on the print score for killing a Bounder, Hunter, Shadowlord, and Pterodactyl. So you get those points right away, but it doesn't print up the score until you collect the egg. And it'll print up the double score. Not double score, I gotta stop calling that. It'll print up the midair bonus if you collect the egg before it bounces. So we need a way to keep track of how many eggs we've captured in the play state. So we could have a EggsCaught gets 0. Actually, if we started at 1, oh no, oh no. As soon as we capture the egg, we can say EggsCaught gets incremented, and then the score amount is assigned based on the amount of eggs caught once we increment it. So we can do a starting at 0. Let's see where we send the egg to the graveyard on a player egg collision. So player egg, no. Vulture, vulture, player to enemy, player to object. So eggs should be in here. Yep, we collide with eggs. Okay, so if we, I'm just gonna leave a note here, say, actually, let's just do it. EggsCaught gets current EggsCaught, which in the if it's the first egg, it'll be 0, 0 plus 1. So incremented EggsCaught. But we got to do this anytime we send the egg to the graveyard. We increment that EggsCaught. Cool. So now we should at least have eggs caught, and then if we die, EggsCaught gets 0. And then we need to modify our score amount based on the amount of eggs caught, instead of modifying it by the score amount. And then we need to change double score to be midair bonus. It's a little too much for me to do that all right now because I gotta go soon, but I want to see, we have exploded. Is it player exploded for when we die? Player 1 exploded. So if we ever explode meaning by a monster or by a collision with anybody. So I guess instead of doing eggs caught get 0, eggs caught get 0, eggs caught get 0 for all these things, at the end of our update, we can actually just say, at the end of our update, we can do something like we just say, if player 1 is exploded at that time, if player 1 dot exploded is true, then eggs caught needs to get reset to 0. Eggs caught gets 0. Otherwise, it can continue to count as much as I want, or as much as it wants. So let's print up this eggs caught, and we'll check to make sure that it counts when we collect one, and we'll make sure it gets 0 when we die, and then that'll give us the base to start getting our proper scores instead of the way it is now. So in our debug render, instead of printing the doubles, actually I do want to keep the wave, but instead of printing the doubles, actually I want to keep that actually for now until we change it to mid-air bonus, and we'll change that. But we want love.graphics.print, and what we want to print is eggs caught, and then we need to concatenate that with a string version of our integer eggs caught, and then we want to print that up maybe at 20 or 10 on the X, and then 20 downwards, so it'll be below our wave. But then we need that parenthesis. Let's see. So eggs caught 0. Now if we collide with the egg, we should capture that one egg. So eggs caught 1, that's good. Can we eggs caught 2? Yeah, we can. Can we reset it to 0 if we die? I didn't mean to kill him, but we've got 3 eggs caught. Now V spawns more vultures. Let's kill him. Yep, I die. Eggs caught 0. That's exactly what we need to get our proper scores going. And then we got to do all those other things. We got to make our mid-air bonus just 500. We've got to change our double score to be mid-air bonus, which is just 500, and then we need to modify our score tables, not right off the bat with incrementing scores, but initialize them to nothing, basically no score amount for our corresponding print score objects. But once we kill a vulture, actually it's only when we capture an egg. When we capture an egg, we need to update our score amount to be the correct score amount, and then it'll print by itself, because that's how our class works. So we'll get to do that tomorrow, but I gotta get going. So I'm gonna commit. Actually, if we take a look at our git diff here, we added a change in our notes. We added a new EggsCaught variable that we increment if we collide with an egg. Then if we explode, we reset our EggsCaught, and then we're debugging it. So not a big update, but that's what we need to get the ball rolling on the correct scores. So good EggsCaught for proper scoring. Get push, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and we'll get more work done. And so with this project, I think my first commit on this project was 2 years ago, and I'm trying to make more different things. So I think instead of mimicking every single wave in Joust. What I think is going to be a cool and somewhat easier challenge is going to be to just make infinite waves, but kind of randomly generated with the spawn points. Actually, that'll be super easy, and then we'll just kind of call it that. I don't think I'll do the shrinking platform or the lava troll. We can always come back and add that, but at the moment, I just want a playable wave game with, increasing amount of enemies, and then we can make it exactly Joust in the future if we want to come back to it. But it's been 2 years on this project, and I'm trying to make more different stuff. Trying to get a job as a more general computer programmer, so I'm going to try to switch off Lua and be doing more C or Python or Rust or something, so we'll see how that goes.